Good.
Quick note to Mitt Romney. Go quietly into the good night. For all the talk we've heard since Election Day about changes that the Republican Party needs to make here to remain viable going forward, and I got to tell you, just about every member of the party, a lot of them at least, seem to have had some reckoning that Tuesday meant something. The GOP's presidential nominee still sees things differently. Breaking his silence, Romney channeled his 47% comments and essentially said President Obama bought his re-election with gifts that he gave to some key voting blocs. ABC's David Muir has more.
Mitt Romney leaving his hotel the day after the election next to the convention center where he hoped to deliver the one speech he'd written, his victory speech. But now in the week since the election, ABC News has learned Mitt Romney has been explaining his loss to his closest advisors and his top donors. And it started at a breakfast the very next morning. Now today, perhaps his most eye-opening explanations yet, during a conference call with an even larger group of donors. Romney arguing President Obama won in part because of gifts the Obama administration had given to particular groups in this country.
What the president's campaign did was focus on certain members of his base coalition, give them extraordinary financial gifts from the government, and then work very aggressively to turn them out to vote.
Among those groups the gifts went to, Romney discusses the African-American community, young people, and the Hispanic community, here offering one of the gifts to them.
What the president did is he gave them two things. One, he gave them a big gift on immigration with the DREAM Act amnesty program.
And the second thing in order to get Hispanic voters?
Number two, put in place Obamacare, which basically is $10,000 a family. I mean, it's a proven political strategy, which is give a bunch of money from the government to a group, and guess what? They'll vote for you.
Sources telling me this has been Romney's argument since the moment he realized he'd lost, telling his closest circle the very next morning that America is becoming an entitled society, that some Americans are asking for government to solve problems for things they can't afford.
The giving away free stuff is a hard thing to compete with.
So Romney sticking with the 47% approach, although a lot of influential Republicans aren't buying it and aren't appreciating that. Among them, Louisiana Governor and Romney backer Bobby Jindal, although he wouldn't know it by what he had to say about the comments you just heard from Mitt Romney. He said the GOP has to go after 100% of the voters, not 53%, noting he thinks Republican policies can help all voters and dividing them only hurts the party. Other Republicans saying Romney missing the moment to help expand the party and add demographics. Okay. Dominic, you know, I know people, if anybody should know, don't talk, you know, unless you want it on the front page of the paper, it's him. What's he doing?
Well,
it's just sore politics, it feels like.
Well, you know, there's a reason why you hire a publicist and why a publicist says, don't say anything. Because really, what's the best way I can do this on an intellectual television program? What the governor is doing right now is, wah, wah, I lost and I can't understand why. So the other guy gave people stuff. Most of us, Governor Romney, call that good government. That's what it's called, good government. Delivering for constituents, that's what it's called.
Republicans can't face up to the fact that they lost because their ideas were lousy. The candidate was not great, but the American people looked at austerity, they looked at the government as a sex cop, they looked at these questions and said, nah, and that's why they lost.
Let's not get carried away. I mean, President Obama won by a slight margin. It was, I think, Republicans' election to win or lose. We lost it. I don't think the president won it.
But do you think Republicans think they lost it because of the message or the messenger?
Both. I mean, it takes a few more, but the comments from the Senate candidate in Indiana and in Missouri,
and Aiken, yeah.
I mean, that just destroys the brand. I mean, really what, our candidate needed to do, he needed to go to both states and say, I repudiate what they said. Absolutely. I stand up to them, and if I lose this election because of that, then so be it.
I got to hit a break.
Romney would do that.
I got to hit a break here, Congressman. Do you think, because I heard this same thing in 2008, that, oh, we're going to reassess where we are, and then we saw the Tea Party months later really pick up steam. We saw what happened in 2010. Right. But do you think they really buy it this time? that they really got to change because of the changing demographics
Let
of
them
America?
continue as they're going. You're doing fine.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
You have a handkerchief?
Keep it up. It's going great.
You have a handkerchief?
No, no.
We're gonna we come back. We're gonna talk dollars and cents of the election. That's one of the epitaphs of 2012. We'll get into that after this.
You know, you're right. It was.